After last video, I want to make a little more, as you know, for integration. My mean never be human and everywhere from here, Netherlands, Switzerland, Germany, France, and everywhere, never US, everywhere. But as you know, for example, totally integration, they killed, for example, Bakhtiar in France, totally with integration. Totally, it's so ridiculous with police at least. And also Feridun Farrokhzad in Germany, Bonn. And after to kill these poor people, they said, no, don't worry, it's something with... and many body after some days to call the police, but you can totally integration. And also France, Bakhtiar, and before some about not much far away than Bakhtiar that has issue with somebody, for example, is has issue with Telegram and like this. I don't want to make deep, and many integration they did and they do absolutely with Iran. And unfortunately, my poor family, at least I averred that is, for example, my poor father to kill. After 1 week, I totally spoke with him, and after 1 week, they said father is died. And before my poor family, my brother in and my and that last with about my father, with uncle, my husband, aunt, and every. As a result, I have, for example, I never contact with my poor family about. I am in this demand, this manner, about more than 11, 12, like this, 11 months. And in Switzerland, totally, I decided to never contact, never, at least by my poor family in Iran. And also some poor family around, not much, for example, so 3 or 4 like this in some other where Turkey and Canada, and unfortunately I never contact, and I until this integration will be finished, and absolutely naturally will happen. I want to hint, for example, for Trump has issue with integration of, unfortunately, that was in system. But that did infinity great, like to kill Qasem Soleimani. That was integration, absolutely. But this integration is totally was humanity, absolutely, and like some other sample of Trump. Unfortunately, in system, but we need to trust, for example, to close the closest situation to stand up this situation with inhumanity and injustice, unfortunately. Like to absolutely to trust to Trump, and like this. One, I can say, one star, we can come back great again, back great again, because that needs to fix to tie to make a stand up. We don't have other option. And inshallah will. That is for subject and sub-subject countries like Canada, like absolutely Europe, and you can estimate with something issue, for example, Trump issue with Europe, and like this you can absolutely solve as your country as well, to release as soon as possible this injustice, unfortunately situation. That is for subject and sub-subject like US, Russia, China, and Europe, and absolutely Australia, New Zealand, and like this. You get more and more in, at least with industrial refugee, with unfortunately the industrial refugee, they are totally innocent, but absolutely they come with this area, especially Europe, makes Infinity great as a natural refugee, as I said again and again. For example, also for if you didn't happen like this to come back like Trump, and like you can also take a refugee, especially to Europe, from US, from Canada, from Australia, from UK, and also other countries, especially come to Europe. As a result, we have fake, for example, war issue with Ukraine, totally has a refugee issue. And for example, more than 40 million people in danger in this injustice situation. You can hear this with waves to make something issue with children to sound, to make a sound at least. After my description, you can totally with waves has issue. So that is an issue for a human to trust, for example, to be for a stir, to make a tie, and to get up at least. And if you didn't, with this infinity reaction, and we must do it, and as soon as possible, to release of injustice situation. If you didn't happen, you take a refugee totally, or immigration, especially Europe. As I said, the Ukraine fake war to make something absolutely with the refugee issue to conserve this area, especially West Europe, of refugee issue. They did and they do something like abnormal Ukraine. And before with you saw in Afghanish people, and I said 40 million at least with Ukraine poor people, for example, they absorb for hug like France 30,000 poor people. You can imagine this abnormality, and this totally they didn't make it. They don't. They cannot and never able to make obi. As I totally we have one God, one religious, and totally issue with after infinity great 10 commands Moses, one Jesus, totally never have a male without humanity, human without humanity, or female and male. And end Muhammad how to make it, how to this infinity great confidence upon the natural way or humanity way. or like I say, like a football team, 10 commands, like 10 player of Moses and one Jesus, 11 player, infinity great player in human condition, like this infinity great, one God, one religious. And Muhammad coach of this infinity great team. That is natural football and totally human and humanity and absolutely humanity three natural way and totally describe. I am totally nothing. They couldn't absolutely, they never able to make absolutely obi, and as a result makes as they can't panic and they try, for example, with make a solution with natural. They couldn't. Natural is totally humanity, delusion of nothing, especially nothing of humanity. So they, for example, more and more torture poor people in Ukraine, fake war, and makes like this to release of industrial refugee, but inshallah they are a totally natural refugee to make more and more great and release as soon as possible this absolutely abnormal situation as they can. Infinity, these great people. And also again and again I appreciate of this like situation like camp and infinity great people like great Netherlands, absolutely never lose trust to human and God. And also for object and sub-object countries like Iran, Saudi Arabia, Emirat, United Emirat, and Iraq, Afghanistan, like this, they totally has issued a double issue to release as soon as possible this situation, as I said before. As a result, with at least real sample Iran, we have Dajjal ibn Dajjal is called Khamenei. We need the release of this Satan as soon as possible and makes infinity great with trust to before of Dajjal Khomeini that has issue with Shah, but unfortunately we don't have other option, and we must to tie at least to closest situation, because absolutely time limitation we have. And as a result, any human, if you had absolutely like Trump, like Shah, and etc., to take a refuge and makes infinity great to destroy injustice. And inshallah, we will, we not, we won't, we will not happen this injustice and trust to them will infinity great makes more and more great this infinity great world. I don't want to make it deep and absolutely human never care naturally, for example, to Ukraine to panic everything. If you had issue naturally to care is infinity great, and absolutely the first is to inform other people with this situation, one God, one religious, and absolutely we have three humanity theory, we have a real natural team like football and like this, and absolutely natural way confidence up Quran and Imams, and absolutely after this natural care is totally great to make a refugee, to take a refugee or immigration. as I said, and absolutely you have brain and makes Infinity Great better than me. And also I want to hint, for example, this Infinity Great situation like Netherlands, but unfortunately system. When I was VVN about 1 hour ago, more than 1 hour ago, in some situation like some one woman to stand up before me in room and totally spoke in privacy way husband to put me out, and she said no, not her husband, that was partner, and many issue, ridiculous issue. And for example, after this I don't have a place. I am waiting for police, but police need not need come, and after 5 minutes they deeply more and more I want to hint, and as a absolutely to mix issue, if you believe it, how to make a confidence. We have amr be maruf and nahy az munkar. It's totally with absolutely 10 commands is so clear you what kind of issue to make this Infinity Great amr be ma'ruf and nahy az munkar, how to make a confidence up. And after, for example, 5 minutes, she insert more and more deep. I am from Iran. I know my father is party with Boris Johnson. But for ridiculous, I said Boris Johnson. But she said party, and I couldn't. I fear. I scared him to come back. Yes, I am totally as well. But I totally said, please go to that is public. For if you want issue, I don't want to write down. But if you have issue to write down to make a story, no problem. I will write down, and please say again. And after they finished, as I said, with the first command of Moses, we have one God, and absolutely that means makes justify for everybody same justice for everybody same. The first command of Moses, 10 commands, meaningful. As a result, you have confidence, and you need to make this Infinity Great issue with spiritual to up, and never have issue in the public to call to make your confidence has issue, and you have privacy, and many body to insert, for example, something issue what kind of confidence you had, and no, that is not, and any prejudice, and you need to make at least justify for everybody privacy, at least privacy. And privacy means justify at least for your situation with confidence, makes save confidence more and more up, not to prejudice everybody to have issue with the Infinity Great. And also to put, for example, chips and likes to make in public your justice, your confidence for other people as the Satan obi manner. But for me, it's totally, absolutely nothing. And to make more and more this abnormal and foolish, totally foolish, to more and more disclose more and more, alhamdulillah, thankful of God. Totally, if I, and God God absolutely bless human.